I'm 17 years old. I'm about to graduate high school. It's early on a weekday evening, and my mother is roasting a chicken. I've always liked hanging around in the kitchen, helping out, tasting, at least until I started keeping kosher. You see, I'm Jewish, and my mother is not. That means I can't eat her food. Those are the rules. Food a non-Jew cooks is not kosher, unless a Jew supervises and participates in the cooking process. So I'm not just hanging around with my mom in the kitchen. I'm supervising. Because otherwise, I won't be able to eat her food at all. And she knows that. And she hates that. But those are the rules. Those are the rules that connect me to the identity I know is mine. To the identity my grandmother and aunts and uncles, on my father's side, passed on to me. The rules that connect me to the story of how my grandmother fled Vienna with my grandfather to the safe haven of Bolivia, where my father, my aunt, and my uncle were born. The rules that connect me to my other uncle, who also fled Vienna the morning after Kristallnacht. The rules that connect me to my ancestors. These are my stories. This is me. How can I be anything but Jewish? The fact that my mother isn't Jewish doesn't matter to my father's family. I'm one of them no matter what. But for the wider community, my stories didn't matter. Only the rules. And the rules are that the child of a non-Jewish mother is not Jewish, unless he converts. So that's what I do. Convert. Stubborn Jewish thing. And I accept upon myself all those rules. Because without those rules, my stories don't matter. Without those rules, I'm not a real Jew. Without those rules, I'm just another average American teenager. Blah. Or one of those liberal Jews, for whose Judaism is so watered down, it has no teeth and no taste, as bland as the food liberal Jews eat. Boiled mung beans and brown rice with no seasoning, not even salt. Without those rules, I'd just be a shape-shifting mass. Without those rules, I might even like boys. But the rules also mean that the rabbis say I can't go to college, secular college at least, where dangerous ideas lurk in books, where the rules of modesty are not enforced, and there's nothing to stop illicit contact between a boy and a girl, or maybe even another boy. I go to college anyway. There in Montreal, I'm free to keep as strictly kosher as I want, observe the rules as I want. But I'm hungry. Hungry for Homer, hungry for Virgil, Ovid, Catullus, Lucretius, Ibn Sina, Al-Farabi, Al-Mutanabbi, Rumi, Hafez, Omar Khayyam, Confucius, Mencius, Libai, Dufu, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Shakespeare, Donne, Milton, Wordsworth, Cavafy. I'm hungry for Saadia Gaon and Maimonides, not his legal works, his philosophy, which according to the rules is just as forbidden as a pork chop, because it reconciles Greek and Jewish thought, and that can open one's mind in dangerous and frightening ways, which is exactly what I want. I'm home on my last vacation from college. I discover my mother has been using my pots and pans for non-kosher food. I flatly refuse to eat the meat she's cooked in one of them. She flies into a rage so intense, I relent and eat the food. But the damage is done. My father tells me if this continues, he and my mother don't want to see me. I'll have to find somewhere else to stay when I come back to LA. I go back to Montreal for my last semester of college. I do my studying in the library on the 6th floor, where they keep all the books on Judaism and all the books on philosophy. I'm sitting at an old wooden carrel piled with books. I'm reading through Maimonides' philosophical magnum opus, The Guide for the Perplexed, written in Judeo-Arabic under the title Dalalat al-Ha'irin. Part 3, Chapter 34. The first few sentences stop me in my tracks. ومما يجب أن تعلمه أيضا أن الشريعة لا تلتفت للشاذ ولا يلتفت للأمر القليل الوقوع أو لأذية تقع لواحد من الناس من أجل ذلك التقدير والتدبير الشرعي. The Torah doesn't concern itself with exceptional cases. And we don't pay attention to the damage done to a person on account of the Torah's decrees. Adhiya, damage. He says following the Torah can do damage. I won't be welcome in my parents' own home because of following the Torah. My parents who I love and who love me. This is not for my own good. This is not a sacrifice for which I will receive reward in the future world. This is damage. At the end of the semester, I graduate and go home. It's the 10th of January, 2010. My parents don't think I'll be back in LA until tomorrow. But here I am, just off the shuttle from the airport, walking up to their house. I let myself in with my own key, open the door, hear the clanging of pots and pans in the kitchen, and discern the smell of roasting chicken. I go into the kitchen. My mother has just taken the chicken out of the oven, and it is sitting there in the roasting pan on the counter. She looks at me. I pull off a little piece from the chicken's thigh with my fingers and put it in my mouth. It's good, I say. It's really good.